RFi, we've been doing some research recently into youth banking, and that's involved two separate studies, one of young people aged 16 to 21 and one of parents of children under the age of 18. And there's really been some interesting stuff that's come out of it. But one of the things I wanted to focus on today is the findings that have come out of the study of parents and looking at when they open accounts for their children. What we know is that about 2/3 of all parents have opened up accounts for their children. And that we know that over the years, as the children age, that penetration of children's accounts becomes higher and higher. But one of the first things we noticed, which jumped out at me, was that in the first 5 years, effectively, there's a window of opportunity. And that's when about 40% of parents open up bank accounts for their young children. And then the penetration of banking products doesn't really change for the next 5 years. And then there's a second window of opportunity between the ages of 10 and 15, when the remainder of those accounts, or the large majority of them, are opened. So effectively, you've got those two windows. The second thing that's really interesting when we looked at the way that those accounts are used by parents and by their children is that the needs evolve. So in the first instance, no surprise, the account is a little more than a savings account. As the children age, and by the time they get to the 10-year point, then we're thinking about pocket money. We're thinking about eventually how the children are going to access the account. And so the accounts change from being a pure play savings account into a much more fully featured transactional facility. And then the third thing that we notice, which comes down to how you incentivize uptake on the part of parents, is that fees were really important. Particularly at the moment, we're in a phase from an economic perspective where people are looking at every dollar that they spend. And it's always been the case that when you're opening up a savings account for your child, you don't want to lose all of that money through fees. So fees really important. Then comes return. Is there a bonus interest rate included in it? What does that entail? What does that look like? That's really important. And then comes the control for the parents. So can they monitor that account through their own digital banking program? And then in turn, how does their child benefit? And particularly amongst the parents of younger children, can their children benefit from financial education resources? So effectively, what happens is, if you're going to have the winning account from a parent's perspective, it's going to be an account which will be feature rich, but where those features can be turned off or on as the child ages. So, it starts off as a savings account, offers bonus rates, offers financial education resources, and then it evolves into or links to a transactional facility that effectively meets the pragmatic needs of both the parent from a control and access perspective and of the child as they mature. So that's just one snippet from our youth banking study. Much more in the study itself. I'd encourage you to have a read.